Welcome, Pupsters, to the PUPS Clubhouse. Today, I'm excited to actually have a non-dog owning guest. Now, I know that might be a little unusual for some of us, right? How can someone not have a dog? But I think it's important that we understand people who are not pet parents and what PUPS means to them, or a business like PUPS means to them. Today, I'm honored to have my friend and partner, David Goldberg, here. David is from Goldstreet Partners, real estate firm. He's an entrepreneur, been very successful, and he's helped our team recently open up the Lakeshore East location. So, David, I just want to start out, let you introduce yourself to the audience, and we're going to talk about what your vision was for Lakeshore East. Being a non-dog owner, how did you come up with the idea that, hey, you know what, a dog daycare would really be great for the Lakeshore East community here?
For sure. Well, I'm David Goldberg. I'm with Goldstreet Partners. We're a full-service brokerage house, and we work with landlords who are trying to fill space, and then we work with different concepts that are growing either in Chicago or throughout the country.
Great. And, take us back to when you first reached out to me and you said to me, hey, Dan, you know what? I think a dog daycare would do really well here. I've got this obscure space right off the park. And, what was your vision? What were you really thinking about there?
Well, so just a little background on Lakeshore East. It's a 26-acre mixed-use development. There's close to 5,000 people that live in the neighborhood. And it's really a fully encompassing neighborhood, having a grocery store. We've got a dentist. We've got a vet. We've got nail salon, coffee shop, and I kept saying,
and the most beautiful park in Chicago, in my opinion.
The park is amazing, and there's a park for kids, but then there's also, which is even more impressive, is the dog park.
Yes, and also the best dog park in Chicago.
It's unbelievable. It's amazing. I mean, it's
got
beautiful.
A water feature. It's got hills. It's really well appointed.
Yep. So, the one thing we had been missing, and this development started 20 years ago. So over the years, it's just, it's grown and grown and grown with more buildings and more concepts. And the one thing we just had never had in the development was a doggy daycare. And we wanted something full service, and it's, we get a lot of inquiries from groups, startups and, dog walkers that want to open up their first location. But, as we, we try to.
So why did you zero in on PUPS? What was it that drew you to our brand?
Well, as we got to know each other, I know I'd reached out, but it's nice to see a group that has multiple locations, that really has a program behind it, that, is with education. They, from what I had learned from you, and then as I've talked to other landlords, you're training these, you're training your staff, and you keep your facilities just beautiful inside, and that was super important to us. That if we're
so you're saying basically quality of service. You wanted to make sure that you wanted to have a high quality provider. It couldn't just be any doggy daycare. It had to be the doggy daycare.
The doggy daycare. And
I'm honored.
Yeah. Well, you guys are in, some of the best buildings in the city. And for us, it's not just about getting the highest rent or, that's not what we're looking in our community. It's really just about developing, the best of class and adding more services to the community. And PEPS and, PUPS definitely adds a lot to the neighborhood. And I think as time goes on, we're, just a few months in now, it's starting to warm up outside. And the location you guys are in is just every single dog owner takes their dog down to the lakefront. And I think, it'll be, it already is becoming just part of the community. So
right now, we know you're not a pup parent, but you love dogs.
I love dogs.
So how hard has that been? Because I know how much your daughter loves dogs. How hard has it been not having a dog and seeing all these great dogs in the neighborhood and knowing it's such a part, like the fabric of the community? Like, I think being a resident of Lakeshore East is synonymous with being a pet parent almost.
Yeah, I mean, we go, my daughter, I've got a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. My 9-year-old loves dogs. Favorite dog is a golden retriever. And we literally will go and sit in that dog park, for an hour or 2 hours at a time. And she just throws the ball, to the dogs. And she's gotten to know the dogs' names. Every single person always asks me, do you have a dog? When are you buying a dog? And I know that it'd probably be my wife taking care of the dog. So
Right, exactly. Maybe when they get a little bit older.
right.
So I think that she must have been part of your inspiration to say, okay, oh my God, if my kid is this into dogs and the community is this into dogs, we really need this service. And so as a business owner, I really appreciated you coming to me and saying, hey, listen, I think this is a need for this community. We feel like you'd be a good fit. And then we kind of worked together to make it happen. We recently opened that store, and it's done really well thus far. It's a beautiful store. Have you been
Oh
inside?
yeah, we've been to it. We've been to it a couple times.
Yeah. Has your daughter been inside to
for
hang out?
sure.
And any golden retrievers?
We haven't seen one yet, but I know I love the window right in front. I think that's where you keep the puppies.
That's exactly where we keep the puppies. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the most attractive. I think that's the showstopper for anyone walking by there, whether they're a pet parent or not. I mean, you see a cute puppy in a window, you can't help but stop and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's such a cute dog. And so hopefully that's inspired you to kind of soften on your stance on
Well,
whether your daughter
I asked
will get
if she could get an internship this summer, so we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, listen. I have an in there. I probably could pull some strings for you. So let's talk about entrepreneurship in general and the Goldstreet partners and how you kind of help businesses like ours. For us, it was invaluable because we didn't really have our eyes on Lakeshore East in particular. There's plenty of submarkets in Chicago that would be a good fit for PUPS Pet Club. But you came to me and said, hey, this, I'm a resident of the community. I really see a need here. How is it that you go about your process to identify the need for a great business? Like, because listen, you could put a acupuncturist in there. You could have put, another dry cleaning service or another coffee shop, any number of businesses, but you really zeroed in on doggy daycare.
Well, I knew this was something that was needed in the neighborhood, I mean, that location, in my mind, just watching, I mean, that is like the entry point that everyone walks to the lakefront, and from the lakefront, you're taking a walk, you're taking a jog, and I just, we try to place make as my job. I mean, that's kind of what I'm always doing when I take on a project. It's, what do we think we can put in here to match the community, to match the neighborhood, we saw that location as a perfect place to put something, like a PUPS.
Well, no, again, we appreciate. So what you're saying is your process is more or less like we identify the need for the business. Like PUPS doesn't fit necessarily in every single location that you represent, but this particular location, you're like this is the ideal.
It fit in
the ideal business. Yeah, your building alone has quite a few pet parents.
No.
So was that part of the inspiration at all?
Oh yeah, no, we hear it.
Were
all
people in your ear?
we hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Of why is this not? I mean, we got a dentist, a vet, nail salon, and it's there's more dogs in our neighborhood than I think just about any other neighborhood in the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just gotta you've got a community that's just we needed we fill a need.
Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciated it. So your process is, you're basically identifying the need of the community, seeing if it's a fit with the business owner and then the building, and then try to bring all parties together to create value for all.
Yeah,
everyone.
I mean, what you guys bring to the table is a huge value for buildings that are pet friendly.
Have you felt the effect in your building?
Oh, definitely. People are talking about it, and some people in the neighborhood know that that I'm part of the team that puts the tenants into the neighborhood, and
right.
So people are thankful when you get something great that is helpful.
anything on the horizon for the community that we should know about for our Lakeshore East residents? And now that we're a part of the community, we're looking to contribute as well. So
yeah, I mean, I think
what's next for Lakeshore East?
I know we got a big Easter hunt coming up in a couple weeks. You know, the more that you can be involved and be out there, you know, either in where the dog park is, and just let yourself known that you can be helpful to, you know, all these dog owners, and maybe, you know, even non-dog owners like me. I mean, you know, who might want to become dog owners, you know, to understand pet care and to understand, you know, what you're getting yourself into. Because I think, you know, that could be something that, you know, could be helpful. Some kind of education.
Yeah, I always found it interesting that a non-dog owner would really be interested in placing, you know, if they don't understand the business, placing a doggy daycare. The common perception of doggy daycare is that it's loud, it's messy, it smells, right? So it's great that you got familiar with our operation and you wanted to make sure that that was not going to be the case. And
Yep.
It sounds like you had plenty of opportunity to choose an alternate provider that it might have turned out like that. But, you know, it's not the first thing that comes to mind for like non-dog owning people. And one of the things I think that is important for the community to know, and I think that you you brought us there, and I think you had the comfort level to bring us there knowing that even for the non-dog owning community, that it would be a great addition because you're going to promote more responsible pet
For sure.
ownership, right? You're going to have a place for pets to go where they're not necessarily, you know, disruptive to a building environment. So it's kind of like an outlet for them, right? Aside from the park. So I think you looked at it in a smart way, you know, as a real estate professional and an entrepreneur, and you know, it helped us get into a great partnership with the building and the community, and we really appreciate it as well.
Well, we're excited to have you there.
Good. Okay. Well, you know, if you have any questions for David and Goldstreet Partners, you can visit David's website, right? Goldstreet Partners.
It's Goldstreet, www.goldstreetpartnersre.com.
Yep. And David is dialed in with the Lakeshore East community. So if you have anything going on in Lakeshore East and you want someone to help you, you know, get it off the ground, I think David's also a great resource for that. You seem to be the de facto mayor of Lakeshore East. You know everyone in the community.
I mean, it's a pretty tight-knit community.
Yeah.
I mean, that, and especially that, you know, that park is just where everybody goes. And in the summertime, I mean, they have, you know, their movies in the summer. I mean, it's one of the best places to live. It's kind of a hidden gem. But,
yeah, I've always admired it from afar. Never saw necessarily that PUPS would be a fit there. I'm very grateful to you that you helped make that happen. And we are excited for the community for the future. We you know, we want to be a big part of it, again, for pet parents and people who don't have a dog as well. I think we can add just as much value to those folks as we do to people who have a dog. So thank you for being here today and telling us why PUPS Pet Club was a fit for Lakeshore East and a little bit about your business and your methodologies. We always appreciate the education.
Thanks for having me.
All right.